What is astromapping? Astromapping is a facet of astrology that encompasses maps. It takes into account your holistic astrological chart and lets you know where in the world your energy is primed to show up or feel a certain way. Before I embarked upon my nomadic journey, this is October of 2020, I got an astromapping session done with one of my friends, Rebecca Farrar in San Francisco, Wild Witch of the West. And I learned a few things. I learned that one of the points that you want to really look out for the most is called your sun line. That's where all the good stuff happens. My sun line is in Boston. So naturally, that was my first step in my nomadic journey. And then there are some areas that you want to be aware of because it could bring up and exacerbate other types of energy, right? So where the sun line brings up feelings of, sun, like maybe having an easy time socially and feeling really at ease and at peace and in your element. Having something like a Mars line, there could be more aggression. There could be some feelings of restlessness, irritability, unhealthy relationship dynamics. So that was actually in New Mexico for me. I actually did have quite a catharsis emotionally. There was an episode of crying in the bathtub, writing a song to my inner child. Stay tuned for that if it hasn't already come out. And just really allowing emotion express itself in total solitude with the cats and not judging it. And for me, a big part of getting an astromapping session done was to have some semblance of guidance for where to go. Because when you know that you need to leave your home, but you don't know where to go, but you don't just want to revert to the easiest or closest places, then there's some exploring to do. And as I've deepened my spiritual practices, I found some resonance with astrology. Most people look at their sun sign. I'm a Virgo sun, by the way. And they read a horoscope, but that's one tiny piece of that big puzzle. So it may seem generic because it is. It definitely is. And oftentimes you will be instructed by astrologers, if you are going to read those, you want to read two, your rising sign and your sun sign. So for example, my rising sign is a Libra. Your rising sign is how others view you. So apparently Libras are viewed as being very sociable. And then yes, a sun sign is how you view yourself. So Virgos are self-owned, self-sovereignty, organized. So that's how I view myself. And then moon signs, we don't look as much at moon signs always when it comes to, this is when the more intricate things come in, but I'll just explain it anyway. A moon sign is your internal parent. So for example, mine is a Capricorn. So Capricorns are known for being by the book, factual, strict. So I need to remind myself, hey, Stephanie, be kind to yourself. And what I found interesting when I got my astromapping session done was that a lot of the points on the chart that converged where Rebecca was saying, go there, check that out. That's going to feel good for you. I was thinking, I actually have already been to those places. I felt a pull to travel to those places over years past. So you can choose to hire someone and get this done, or you can begin to DIY it. Go to astro.com and you can begin to take a look at the chart, and you should be able to hover over some lines and see how how it comes out. So it's called astromapping, astrocartography. That's another word for it. And I didn't know about it until I was in the process of my nomadic journey. And I was looking up, how do people find out where they want to live, where they want to be in the world when you can be anywhere? Because before that, keep in mind, so many of us had things tying us to places. And not to say that I had nothing tying me to any place, but actually in many respects, I didn't. Also, there are certain points in your chart that make sense to visit during certain periods of time. So for example, when I got my reading done, she said that you probably want to settle in before, I believe she said February or March, because you're going to have a period of confusion. And what do you know? I ended up elongating my stay in New Mexico because the decision to not decide felt better than jumping the gun and forcing a new place to show itself. And I've said this in a previous video, Nomad Self-Care, that you want to choose a place for at least 30 days to really allow yourself to get a feel for it. Aside from astromapping, astrocartography, there's something to be said about being in silence, in solitude, with your bare feet, bare hands, in the sand, on a freaking tree, in the dirt, breathing, allowing feelings to arise in you. How does the air taste? How do the sounds feel in your ears? These tools can guide us, but ultimately it's up to us to decide how we feel. And no pressure here. This isn't to say, okay, follow this checklist, do X, Y, Z, and then get back to me, let me know where you're meant to be. It's not through research, it's through lived experiences. Have you heard experience is the best teacher? Maybe not always the absolute best, but certainly the most thorough, the deepest, where you're not going to forget it if you experience it, right? If you truly experience it with all of the senses that are available to you. All right, so I would like to know, have you ever checked out or been curious about your astrocartography? And if you haven't, go ahead and do it now and come back and let me know, what do you think? What did you learn? What surprised you? And while you're at it, if you found this interesting, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe, because it only gets more interesting from here. It's going to be awesome. This is Stephanie Michelle. Have a wonderful day. Until next time.